Hey, beautiful friends. This is Sarah Blumenfeld with Networking Done Different and Outreach of and Invitation to More.com. Today, I'm joined by my longtime friend, Valerie Immore. She's the owner of Sundance Yoga Studio in Friendswood and Pearland, and she's going to tell us what they have to offer and why yoga is such a benefit. Hey, Valerie.
Hi.
So first, tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to the practice of yoga.
Well, this is my second life in this lifetime. I was in the entertainment industry, modeling, acting. I was a talent agent for many years prior to stumbling into yoga. And I say stumbling into yoga because that's exactly what happened. I was in a super high stressed, not super nice industry. And frankly, it came up for me out of just this desperate prayer of my heart. My heart just went out and was just like, Lord, I know you did not make me to be peddling flesh for a living. That just can't be the best use of my time, talent, and energy. As I'm, on the Stairmaster, huffing and puffing. So I really liked fitness, not so much the fitness aspect of it, but just the way it made me feel. How when I would work out, exercise, do cardio, there was that sense of calm, but I didn't necessarily connect the two until one day I ventured into the YMCA with my mother. She had been, diagnosed with high blood pressure and was very overweight. And the doctor said, if you don't do something about this, you are headed for a heart attack. So I said, Mom, come work out with me. And she was like, I don't want to do what you guys do. Because I worked out with boys, lifting weights and that kind of thing. I said, you come to the gym with me, we'll do whatever you want. And she looked at the list and she said, oh, stretching and relaxing. That sounds good. And way back then, that's what they called it at the YMCA because yoga was very taboo. Judeo-Christian YMCA, they couldn't call it yoga. They didn't want to call it yoga. So, that's how it first happened for me. My friends all laughed at me because they call me the yoga queen now. And I remember when you walked into that first yoga class and you didn't even want to take off your shoes. I was like, what do you mean? We have to take off our shoes and our socks? Oh my gosh. So I've been teaching yoga now about 25 years. And it completely and utterly changed my life. Been through a lot of health issues. I had breast cancer when I was in my 20s. I had an 11-year battle with that. I spent a lot of time in the early days of my practice just in a puddle of tears, head down, hardly able to move, but the mat brought me solace. When I chose to bring this into other people's lives, that's why I chose to do it. It brought me a sense of peace and purpose and balance, and just helped me to remember that I was more than my physical body, and I was more than what was going on in my world. And it truly helped me to enhance my spiritual being, my spiritual self, my connection to something that goes bigger and greater than what we see every day.
Wow, that's beautiful. So when did you open Sundance Yoga Studio?
Sundance opened in 2000, right here in Friendswood. We in 2020, we were supposed to have our 20-year anniversary, and we were going to do all the 20 things, $20 for this and for that. And, we were just going to make a big deal out of it. And then, the world fell apart. And that was such a bummer because, 20 is a great number. But here we are, 23, and kind of recreating 20.
23 is the new 20, right?
23 is the new 20.
And you have a second studio in Pearland, is that correct?
I do. That one opened in 2013. I live in Pearland, and I've lived in Pearland for many, many years. And back when I was raising children, we'd go to dance class or whatever the kids were involved in, and other moms sitting around would be like, "Oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do?" And when I said I taught yoga, "Oh, I'm interested in yoga. Where do you teach?" Sundance Yoga Studio in Friendswood. Oh, Friendswood, that's too far. Which I drive it every day, multiple times a day sometimes.
Right.
But I started to establish a group that wanted to do yoga out in Pearland. And once I had a group established, I went ahead and opened a brick and mortar in 2013. And it's moved to where it is now at 7501 Fight Road. It has a freestanding building, freestanding location. And but I have to say, Friendswood is home base.
Sure.
Friendswood is where it began, and it's what feels like home.
Yeah. Well, and having been in there many times myself, the energy in your space is just, as you said, so relaxing and peaceful and welcoming and non-judgmental.
It absolutely is. I mean, I can really be going through it, whatever it might be at the time. And I come into this space and I open the doors, and it is like it has a life of its own. And I just go, "Oh, my studio."
Yeah, I got the visual of it hugging you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Tell us about some of the different classes that you offer there.
So the primary base of the classes that we offer here is based on a system or a style called Vinyasa. Loosely translated, Vinyasa means breath motivated movement. So it's not like some styles where you are in a pose and you hold that pose for a period of time and then change. Instead, you breathe in to move in one direction, you breathe out, you move into the next direction. So I like to call it a dance of body and breath.
Oh, nice.
So that when you look at our schedule and you see flow or the levels 1, 2, 3, like that, those are all Vinyasa based practices. I personally am a licensed yoga therapist, one of the only in Texas. I'm pretty proud of that. I worked very hard for that. A lot of hours of study, and frankly, having to go through the stuff in my own body. But I also really pride our practice here at Sundance on having a more therapeutic style, although it's still this fast moving, flowing type of practice. There's still a deep element of the biomechanics of the body and keeping the body very safe and moving the tissues in a particular way, moving through the energy body in a particular way, leaving you feeling more like you've had a massage than like you've had a workout. In addition to those Vinyasa classes, we also have prenatal classes. We have a whole new program called FemPowerment. It's all about empowering women. It was initially put together in an effort to help women who had been through mainly breast cancer, but any other type of cancer surgery, things like that, that leave us feeling a little bit less than. Not only needing physical therapy, but just that boost to our femininity. Divorce, separation, breakup, losing someone, there's just a number of different traumatic things that can happen in our lives that leave us feeling a bit lost, like we've lost ourselves. So the FemPowerment was birthed from that. It's a little on the edgy side in that one of the classes is a chair dance class, and it can have a bit of a light on it, like, what, we're learning to chair dance, like pole dance, and it isn't about that at all. It's about the self. It's about this moving each time these ladies come and have a class. It's not a build on dance class like most dance classes would be. You start to finish, learn a dance that goes to that song, and then when it's done, and the next time it's something completely different. It's about getting a woman's body to move and have fun and feel sexy and just feel complete. So that's one of the classes in the FemPowerment. Then there's another class called Booty Yoga, not booty like my butt, but B-U-T-I. Booty in Sanskrit means the beauty within, the secret within. And so it is actually about a static shaking technique that helps to loosen fascial tissue, to loosen the joints and connective tissue. But it is a fast-paced moving class and pretty energetic. Cute young girl teaches the class.
Well,
beyond the FemPowerment,
like there's this place of judgment that most people sit in, especially women, right? Judging ourselves for our bodies, judging for how it moves or how it looks. And it feels to me like these classes that you share help people give themselves permission to be who they are and how they are without judgment.
Right. And even possibly stepping outside of your comfort zone, because maybe we're not all a chair dancer deep within, but it helps us to step outside of our comfort zone enough that it's just like, wow, that was fun. I can do this. And this isn't for anyone else. This is just for me. The lights are off. A few flashing colored lights, just enough that you can see yourself in the mirror, but it's almost as if you don't even know that anybody else in the room is there. And it's really lovely to work on the self in a little bit different way than a regular yoga class would work on the self. A regular yoga class, we are very much working body, mind, and spirit, but there's a contemplative type of state. In the FemPowerment classes, that's a little bit more about not being so contemplative, still moving in, but moving, really moving. Another program that we have is our yin yoga classes, Y-I-N, like yin and yang. Yin classes are different in that you aren't working the muscles as much as you're stressing the connective tissues. So yin, the premise behind yin is an intentional stress, not stretch, of the connective tissue, ligaments, tendons, fascia. Fascia is kind of a little known thing out there unless someone's had a problem with it. Oftentimes they've never even heard of it. And so where a Vinyasa style class, you're holding poses 3 to 5 breaths. In a yin yoga class, you're holding poses 3 to 5 minutes, but they're passive, very passive poses. It's not like a warrior pose that you're holding for 3 to 5 minutes. And it's a lovely balance. Again, more contemplative, less about perfect alignment and the biomechanics and more about just really sitting in your body and letting your body tell you what's going on. I love the balance of a yin and a vinyasa class. We also this fall hope to put another children's yoga class on the schedule. We had it prior to COVID, and we just haven't brought it back. It was individual, just children, and adults could do yoga in the other room, but I have a lovely teacher. Her name is Sarah also, and she really has a passion for doing yoga with her child. And she wants to do more of like a mommy and me, but it doesn't have to be mommy, it could be daddy. And so we're hoping to get the breath of freshness from the kids to come back in. That energy always leaves the space almost better than if you were to sage the whole space.
Right.
We're also monthly doing puppy kitten yoga to help support a local. They are not just a shelter, they are an organization that is trying to get all of the shelters in the Galveston County area to be at a 90% or less. I'm sorry, 90% or less no kill. So if there is a kill shelter, or if there are animals, let's just say at the pound, which is not actually a shelter, some people don't realize that. They think, it's a kill shelter. It was never intended to be a shelter. It's just a holding place, and they don't have enough space to hold for very long. Lifeline goes in and rescues or adopts those who are on the euthanization list and helps to place them. So Sundance, in partnership with Lifeline, we are doing these puppy kitten yoga classes to help awareness of this organization, and they do sleepovers and adoptions and opportunities for people to just volunteer even if they can't take another pet into their home. And it's been a lot of fun.
You have actual puppies and kittens?
Actual puppies and kittens
in the studio. Oh, wow.
In the studio. We have to steam clean the floor every time afterwards. But that too brings a sweetness, a sweet energy. Those animals just they're full of love, even though they have some fear. And just like us, that's all they want, is to be accepted and to be loved. And so all these things that I am trying to bring to Sundance are to bring a cleansing to the energy, to bring a sweetness to the energy here, because our world tends to lack that right now. It tends to lack love and sweetness. So that's my goal. My desire is to have love and sweetness in this space that people can carry with them as they leave the space.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you teach yoga teachers also, right?
I do. I train yoga teachers. There's no specific schedule for that. Oftentimes, a teacher training is prompted by couple of people that I might be interested in training to teach for Sundance. It used to be different. It used to be annual, and I trained lots and lots of teachers, and I'm a little bit more selfish about that now. It's a whole lot of work and a whole lot of energy. And it has become quite competitive, and I don't dig that. I'm not into competition. So I'm into pouring my love, talents, and energy into people who really want to expand themselves as an individual, themselves as a yoga practitioner, and maybe they might want to offer it to someone else, and maybe they just want to do it for their own self-realization.
And
over
you do
in
energy
Pearland,
healing as well, right?
What's that?
You do energy healing as well, right?
I do. That's a little known thing. I don't actually.
Well, we're telling everybody right now.
That's so funny because I use essential oils. And I was doing an energy session with somebody very dear to the studio. She's been a student for a while and has recently been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. So I was doing an energy session with her, and I use essential oils that have messages. And I pulled this essential oil, and these sessions that I'm doing with her kind of take a different tone. And when I pulled this oil and I started using it in the energy work, it's basically Reiki. I realized that this oil that I pulled was about me. It was about me having the faith and confidence to share my healing gifts with the world. So it's interesting that you would just now bring that up, because this just happened yesterday. And the oil basically said, you're not sharing your healing gifts with the world. You're not having confidence in yourself to share these gifts with the world, and you need to. So I guess you're right in that.
There you go.
Right in that same line with the energies out there by asking me that question.
Yeah.
So I do that on a private basis, using some NASA technology joined with Mother Nature. I use a biomat, and it is a really awesome tool. It's 27 pounds of jewel grade amethyst crystal with infrared heat being run through it. And I could literally put somebody on that mat and walk out of the room, and it would kind of do the work.
Yeah.
But I am trained in Reiki healing, as well as intuitive essential oil work. Not the same as aromatherapy. It's a definitely a different use of Mother Nature in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that as well. And over in our Pearland location, we have silks that hang from the ceiling. So there we offer a variety of adult and kids aerial classes. That we can't do that in Friendswood because our ceiling's not designed for that.
Right.
But overall, in general, those are all the things that you can find at Sundance: meditation, relaxation, therapeutics. I teach a class on Thursday evening in Pearland called Yummy Yoga, and it's one of my favorite classes to teach because I take any number of different therapeutic yoga techniques as physical therapy, emotional therapy, traumatic event therapy. I'm a trauma-informed yoga therapist, which I have a couple of pieces of paper on the wall that say that. And that class is designed to help people move through physical, emotional, mental trauma issues, or maybe they just need to slow down and relax, lay around on bolsters and kind of drool on themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. So you also have a wellness fair coming up, and I know that you do them annually in September or October. Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow, that one is a totally different energy for the space. Yeah. It's a way to bring our community together. I have a decent number of yoga students that have come through the doors in the last 23 years. And a lot of them don't really know much about alternate healing opportunities, other healing modalities beyond going to the doctor and getting medicine. Yeah. And there's a whole lot with wellness that has to do with nutrition. I keep mentioning energy. Our energy body holds and stores trauma. And that trauma could be something as simple as when we were a child, somebody took an apple away from us and it hurt our feelings. And now every time we smell apple, we get angry, all the way to much more severe traumas that I don't even have to mention. And our energy body stores that and it holds on to it. Yeah. And it results oftentimes in physical illness or misshapen body holding a particular shape that holds the trauma. Yeah. And so when we bring in practitioners that offer different types of healing for energy or for our mental or emotional bodies, that's kind of taboo, especially in Friendswood, Texas. And so some of it is health, some of it is nutrition, some of it is just overall wellness. And then we have psychics that help us maybe look at what's going on in our path and how we might want to look to something in our future you know, it's just a variety of different readers that do different types of things. So body work, energy work, mental work, spiritual work, lots of vendors that sell all kinds of fun things. There's great shopping opportunities. So that's what our wellness fair is about. It started off with about 5 practitioners. We had a massage therapist, a psychic. I'm trying to remember, there was like 5 people. And I don't really remember because that was in 2000. It's been too many sleeps since then.
Right.
And I believe right now we have about 35 people offering services or their wares here for this year.
Okay. So tell us the date and time and then how people can connect with you.
Okay, so that is going to be on September the 16th. We will be seeing clients from 2 to 7 p.m. and most of the services, they're sample services, but a lot of people have had life-changing information given to them in a little 20-minute session. But it's $20 for 20 minutes. And this is really awesome because a lot of these practitioners, it costs $150, $175 for an hour with them, you know, or for a session. Same with the body workers, $20 for 20 minutes. And it's a really great deal, but it's to get an understanding or a sampling of what this healing might do for you. And then you can connect with those practitioners individually outside of the space. So it's really kind of more about connecting people. Connecting the communities, allowing us to know and understand what's around. And so we open the doors to the public at 2:00. It's very well organized because this ain't our first rodeo.
Right.
And we have sign-up sheets and volunteers that help people, guide people as to what the menu of things is and what you might be able to sign up for. And while you're waiting for your appointment, you can browse through all of the vendors and get samples of drinks and food and a variety of things. And so there's really no way to do it in advance. We don't let people sign up early because then all the slots for certain people would be filled before the doors ever open. So I highly recommend that people get here close to the beginning. Even if they have to sign up for a later appointment, like 5 or 6, they can come in, they can put their name on the list and browse around or go around in the shopping center. Here, there's a lot of neat little shops in our shopping center. So it's also an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about what's going on in Friendswood. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you about that. It's here in our Friendswood location at 128 South Friendswood Drive. We're in a shopping center and we're tucked back in the corner in the alley. We're in the shopping center that used to be Tuesday morning. Oh, my heart. It's closed. But yeah, we're here with the Dollar Tree, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Friendswood Frame Gallery, and lots of cool little shops. And so yeah, that's on September the 16th, 2 to 7 p.m.
Okay, and your website, and how can people get on your email list?
Our website is sundanceyoga.com. They can go on and sign up right there, can sign up for classes, they can sign up for our newsletter. Email is info@sundanceyoga.com, and they can send an email and say, I'd like to participate. What else do I need to do? But really, it's just show up that day. Show up and find us. I will tell everybody in advance that we do ask you to take off your shoes before you come walking through the studio. It is a no-shoe space. That kind of throws some people off. But if
like
they know in
the
advance,
beginning, right?
That's right. It's a yoga studio.
So you can relate. All right. Anything else as we wrap up?
That's all I have to offer, but I really appreciate you inviting me to come and give an interview and let people know a little bit more about me and about Sundance.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you, friends. We always appreciate you listening to Networking Done Different. If you would like to be interviewed, please email me at networkingdonedifferent@gmail.com. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.